Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm Jeff Dover. With me is John Barbin. Let's talk football.
All right, let's get to it. This is our NFL, I don't know, what are we at? Week 6 preview? Week 6.
Yep.
Yeah, already on week 6. And Robert Saleh is already gone. We just covered that. So this is, I don't know what this is. I don't know. It felt like the Jets needed the shirt for today.
Well, you're already excited about the Monday night games. You talked about our last episode.
Well, it became a must-watch game right after that firing.
Absolutely. So, I'm going to watch it. And that's a nice setting for it, too, because there'll be no other games on, and, so that everyone's going to be paying close attention to that.
Yeah.
And something else we're paying close attention to is the likes and subscribes we get in the video. So if you're listening right now, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel.
Yeah. And if you listen on iTunes, give us a review. We'd appreciate that, too. All right. So I'll get started.
Yep.
And what wasn't on my list is on my list now, the Bills-Jets, obviously.
Yep.
This could be, I think this has to be a get-right game for the Bills. I have no idea what to expect out of the Jets.
Yeah.
Of all the times to fire a coach and you're on Monday night, you couldn't put a bigger spotlight on your franchise if you tried.
At New York, too. So, yeah.
Like if it was the Jets at home versus Tennessee.
Yeah, Dallas maybe would be the other one would be more of a circus.
A team. Oh, that would be even worse. But I'm talking about get the spotlight off of you after you did this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like do it before Tennessee or I don't know, Miami or a team you could probably handle, and you do it against the Bills who are picked to win your division and are desperate to win, like utterly desperate to win, and you do it Monday night. So how can you not watch this, whatever this is going to be?
Yeah, and especially for Buffalo, like you said before, I'm interested to see how the Jets come out. I mean, if Rodgers has a poor start, that's not good, But I'm really interested to see how Josh Allen comes out. He started the last game against Houston 1 for 9, and they're supposed to be better than this. And the Jets still have a good defense. So if he looks overmatched against this defense, that is a bad sign. So it's a get-right game for the Bills. It's a get-right game for the Jets now with their new interim coach or whoever it's going to be. So, yeah, that's a must-watch setup now for Monday.
So your point, I'll just finish one point. So Josh Allen, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in his prime, just had the worst game of the season. Has to get right here.
Yes.
Division rivals.
Yes.
The New York Jets quarterback just came off his worst game of the season. He's 40 years old, coming off of a Achilles injury. Which one of these two would you put any money on if you had to for winning the get-right game?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to say Allen, just because I haven't seen him look that bad in a while, and I think he's better than that. And I think everyone's allowed to have a bad game every now and then. And I would feel better, about him going into that game against the Jets. And Rodgers, I still don't know. I still don't know what I'm going to get with him. Like, he could be good the rest of the season. He could be bad the rest of the season. I don't know. But Allen, I think is a more, is a less variability in his game, I'm hoping. So I would prefer to have Allen in this one.
All right. Well, what do you got?
Okay. So next up for me is going to be Arizona and Green Bay. Arizona has been sneaky entertaining this season. It's kind of been like the Washington team a little bit, but I've liked watching their games. They're only 2-3. But that's at Green Bay to see if Jordan Love can play a bit better, to see if the Arizona makes this season more interesting. I'm looking forward to that one. So, and it's I get a kick out of the games at Lambeau too. So,
yeah, that's on my list too. The Packers are kind of one of my only teams of hope here. I had a little take where I thought the it's just the Chiefs plus a bunch of mediocrity. And then the Ravens in this odd in-between category. I guess I should put the Commanders surprisingly somewhere near the Ravens in this odd, not at the Chiefs level, but not as mediocre as everybody else. But to me, the Packers have all the potential to ascend to that other level, maybe with the Lions, Ravens, Commanders, a collection of a few teams that look like they're just not sputtering and underperforming this year. So the Packers, yeah, they're kind of every week I have to watch them, especially at home. Lambeau's fun. So yeah, that was on my list too. And the Cardinals can put up a good game, but they can put up some stinkers. So you have no idea what you're going to get out of them.
I'm interested to see which Arizona team shows up.
Yep. All right. So my must watch of the whole weekend is the Commanders Ravens.
Yeah.
Riffing
that's
off
on my
what I
list
just
too.
said. The Ravens do look like the only other team that could even approach the Chiefs, yet they've already proven they can't beat the Chiefs because they already lost. But at least it was a toe out of the end zone close, that type of game. And they just beat the Bengals, who was, I thought, the only other hope in the AFC. So the Ravens are asserting themselves as a top, whatever you want to say, 4 team. And for sure, the number 2 team in the AFC. No one else is looking like them right now.
Yeah.
But the gap between the Ravens and the Chiefs, I think, is still big. And then the Ravens and the rest of the AFC, who knows? But the Commanders, it's so new. It's hard to say like they're that good, even though they look like they're that good and they're just crushing teams right now. It's like, man, can a rookie keep doing this? But I mean, they are crushing teams.
Yeah.
And he looks so poised. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so he was been passing at 80% clip up until the last game where he looked more human, but they still won the game, and he still didn't even play in the fourth quarter because they were up by so much, right? So this will be the first biggest test for him, I think, on the schedule so far, right? Because it's going to be at Baltimore. Baltimore's favored. They've got a really good defense, and so I'm interested to see which Daniels shows up. If it's going to be the 80% clip guy that's been picking teams apart other than last week, that's going to be quite the statement, So it's they're going to be fired up for this game. It's a sneaky close rivalry almost with Washington and Baltimore. Is not that far apart, so hopefully there'll be some Commander fans there that make it really interesting.
Yep. What do you got?
Okay, so for the next one for me is Detroit at Dallas. So Detroit, I like Detroit. I like when they play well. I like the fact they have playoff run last year. How deep they went was great. Now they're 3-1 this year, but they've beat the Rams, Cardinals, and the Seahawks. All of a sudden, doesn't look that like murderer's row there with the schedule. So this is at Dallas is a legitimate test, and I want to see the Detroit team that shows up, not the one that showed up against the Bucks where they lost 20-16, but the better Detroit team. So, because again, I would like to see them do a long playoff run, and they've got a couple of tough games coming up. Is at Dallas and at Vikings before it gets a little bit easier after that. So, I think it's going to be an important game. I don't think Dallas is that good. I think Dallas can't run the ball. They couldn't last game. They know they're going to be throwing it. They've had a bye week, to get ready for this. So, I think that I want to see Detroit come out and do well.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously this is on the list. I mean, these are 2 of the teams that should have the short odds to get to the NFC Championship game. And the Lions now look, I mean, save for whatever to make of the Commanders with a rookie doing all of this, I think most people right now be like, the Lions have to be the NFC's favorite at this point.
Yep.
And the Cowboys, man, can they ever put in some bad performances? They should have lost to Pittsburgh. And last game, the Lions looked so good. So, I mean, this is someone's going to assert themselves as one of the leaders in the NFC, and this is one of the games that's going to really, really matter. So, but yeah, I would expect the Lions to handle Cowboys here.
Yeah, for sure.
Now the only other thing I got here is the Niners at the Seahawks. There's not very many highlight matchups this week. I couldn't actually even find another game that I thought was meaningful.
I'm all pretty much done my list, but the game you're just bringing up was on the cutting room floor.
It's the only, yeah, right. I mean, the cutting room floor was just full of all the games. I couldn't. I mean, I was just trying. I mean, just a week. Just the way the schedule broke versus how all these teams are playing. Yeah, you get a lights out game with the Commanders and Ravens, and then kind of just whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess the Lions, Cowboys, whatever. But it's nothing like the Commanders, Ravens. Anyways, 49ers, Seahawks. Someone's got to assert themselves in this division. It's like everyone's trying to lose this division.
Yes.
Like just no one really looks that good, and they're way underperforming. So this is going to be really bad for whoever loses this game. Let's say it that way.
Yeah,
this is going to be
a divisional game, and it's they'll be the winner of the division will be like a 3-3 record, which is not great. But if San Fran loses, they'll be 2-4, which is a bit of a hole to get out of. But it's so that it's on Thursday.
3 divisional losses.
Yes, exactly. So
by week 6.
Yeah,
That is terrible.
no, it's not good.
Yeah.
So it's on Thursday, which will be one of the only reasons why I'm
Yeah.
watching it.
Oh yeah, that too. It's just there's just nothing else to outcompete it.
Yeah.
Maybe some reruns of Seinfeld. I don't know. Yeah, it's just not impressive. The Niners are the biggest disappointment I think in the NFL this year.
I'd like to think it's because of. I'd like to think this sounds terrible. I like to think it's because of the injuries. Like I'm assuming it's some of the personnel changes they've had to make has been a struggle, but I don't know.
It's so odd because Purdy looks outstanding.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks he has a bit of the game is slowed right down where he just doing whatever he feels like back there. He looks super comfortable, scrambles for however long he wants. He's got a little bit of that Mahomes, like it slows down for Purdy now. And if none of his reads are there, he is so comfortable juking guys left, right. Then he kind of just finds his way to the edge. So it sucks that the team somehow is underperforming with him looking utterly outstanding. And
and
they
he's got a
can't
bit
put it
of
together.
he's got a bit of moxie too coming out. I think he's which is, I think it's been really interesting to see his transition going from the last pick overall in the draft to now a significant quarterback that's made it to the playoffs, made it to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So that's I think it's really coming into his own. And I think that I can't imagine what it would be like in the NFL to be like a star player making like $400,000 or $1 million just because you're on the rookie contract and you're playing with people that make $40 million, like standing beside you. Do you know what I mean? Like
And some of those guys no showing.
Yes. And so like, I can't, like, he's a really good quarterback and he's so not getting compensated for that right now. And I don't know if he deserves it. So I don't know.
He's earning his next contract. He looks
I
that
know,
good.
but I mean, it's just funny that's like right now you're dependent on him and it's, anyway.
Yeah, that team is this is such a huge disappointment. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for the NFL preview. It's somebody's got to win some of these games, so we'll be watching. All right, stick around for our college preview next.